keeping an eye on the clock. Try to keep this one concise. But I think I've figured out the perfect end to my YouTube trilogy this evening. And it comes down to, what is Toronto? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on Jeopardy, the Smart Person's Game Show. I was Ken and the other dude playing against a computer. Now, by Wednesday, the computer had beaten them quite handily. But the final Jeopardy question was, what American city, what American city's airport was named after? This American city's airport was, it was Chicago and O'Hare Airport. But even after beating the humans quite handily, the computer's final answer for Final Jeopardy was, what is Toronto? The computer did not recognize that, well, Toronto is not an American city, unless, of course, IBM knows something about, American imperialism that us Canadians don't. But it's the idea that a computer on Jeopardy, Jeopardy, the thinking person's game show, a computer on Jeopardy got something so horribly wrong. And, watching the last two videos that I just made, sort of watching myself horribly degrade. This couldn't have happened 15 years ago. If I was babbling and just carrying on the way I was in the last video, walking down the street, you would basically put your shoulder to me and walk past me. If I wrote like that, a letter to the editor, it would not be accepted. It would never be published. But here we have the internet. I'm in your home. I'm in your home. I'm in your office. I'm on your smartphone if you've got the right plug-in, the whole 9 yards. And here I am. But good advice is seldom cheap. And cheap advice is seldom good. Now, when I'm sober and on my game, I like to think that basically I provide some information. I do my fact checking, and if I write something that you basically want to, get the idea behind it, I will back it up, and I can give you the facts to back it up. Talking with my friends down at the bars, the idea that I can be an aggressive conversationalist. But if somebody walks into the bar to tell me a bar story, the time they went hunting and, from 500 miles away they shot a moose, or the time they went fishing and caught a fish this big, or the time they met the girl at the bar and then her roommate walked in, fine. It's a bar story. It's entertainment. Entertainment is one thing. Entertainment it doesn't need to be important. I mean, we watch movies where you have 10-headed aliens walking down the streets and we buy it for the sake of entertainment. But when somebody walks into a bar and starts having a conversation about fact, and I know for a fact that they're wrong, even if they're a complete stranger, I cannot help but to interrupt and correct them. 3 videos tonight. This being the third, but as I said, the first one was somewhat sensible because it was more of an opinion thing, and the second one just kind of completely degraded. But as I said, I'm in your homes. There's a little bit of a step missing. George Jonas wrote an article for the National Post talking about how unsigned letters to the editor were thrown away without even being considered. There was a weird thing in the papers a couple days ago talking about the Bieber fans. We have an entire generation of people who have grown up with this machine right here, the apparatus that we know, as the internet. And there's that complete disconnect in there. like cyberbullying and stuff like that. When I was their age, if I wanted to defend, say, Duran Duran against Iron Maiden, I would have to walk up to the individual wearing, the Iron Maiden shirt, the Storm Rider, and, the jeans, and I'm wearing my Duran Duran shirt or my latest fashion from Le Chateau. And I would have to stand there and defend face to face, my point of view. Chances are I would have got my ass kicked. But through this disconnect, you can write absolutely horrible things about people and never actually feel that. And I'm just wondering sometimes if, this is robbing us of who we are. Because we don't think anymore. We don't ask, we don't inquire, we Google. And I guess the point where, Google is fair and Wikipedia is fair, but there are forces at work. That's not a, conspiracy thing. There are forces at work. There were, you have the sponsored sites and stuff like that. I remember when I was at UBC, there was, issues about who was going to buy the textbooks for the forestry, division. Should a forestry company basically choose the textbooks for the people who are going to be the environmental stewards for forests? That sort of thing. And I said the internet is the same thing right now. And, this is a small little bookcase. I'm not going to bother to get up and spin the camera around, but there's books in there, and I know how to use the Dewey Decimal System and this and that. And everybody's got an opinion. You can write it down, but with certain things, there's the peer review. I'm just worried that because information has become so easy, that people will stop looking for actual information. And I said, I'm the perfect case. As I said, the first video was kind of fun. The second one, I tried to be serious, but here I am joking about the fact, well, I can maintain my thought process while I'm drunk, and basically 2 sentences in, I completely forgot what I was going to fucking say. But here I am. I'm in your home. I'm on your computer. And I said I'm pissed out of my gourd. A little more reserved now, but as I said, the idea that here I am, I'm in your home. This is my opinion. And I'm not sure if that should happen. It's fun to share videos, and, we don't need MTV and Much Music anymore because, we can put them on our Facebook pages and stuff like that. But like the idea of the email that I keep getting, and the first time I got it, I replied. The 10th time I got it, I just gave up. But it's the McDonald's one, where somebody from the Alberta Cattlemen's Association, writes about how McDonald's is doing this, and they're not using the beef and this and that. That email's been going around for 10 years. It originally started off as the Texas Cattlemen's Association. But people get it. They read it and they're like, oh my God, of course McDonald's is an easy target. And they repost it. But it's not true. They don't take a second to stop and check. It's the computer. It's information. It's true. So off they go. Years ago, I got an email talking about how margarine was originally used as turkey fattener, and when it started killing the turkeys, they basically used it on humans, which, again, is wrong. Margarine was made to be exactly what it is, a non-dairy substitute for butter. It was one of Napoleon's ancestors, had it made. But again, people don't stop to check that. And I think, I'm not sure how much of this is, because the last one went, for a little while, and this one right now, it's running up about 10 minutes. The last one went to 18, but cut off at, went to 15, but cut off at 8. So I'm not sure how much this is going to get in there. But it's just, I said, right now, here I am, the perfect example. I am in your home, I am on your computer, and you're listening to me talk. I am pissed out of my mind. So, what I would like you to do is take 2 seconds and go to that whole little Google thing and double check what I said. Check on the margarine turkey Napoleon thing. Check on, the status of the Texas cattleman, the Alberta cattleman McDonald's thing. So the information is there. But as I said, cheap information is seldom good, and good information is seldom cheap. It's a two-way street. Don't let the ease with which you receive information change how seriously you scrutinize information. I mean, Google, Wikipedia, they work. They're getting better. But just because you hear something doesn't necessarily make it true. Because if I wrote this down and sent it to the New York Times 20 years ago, it would never get published. But now I have a soundboard, I have a microphone, I have a computer, I have a camera. I can get into your homes on my own. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I should be there. As I said, just please think about it.